What is up, guys? In today's video we have an inside the mind style video. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and decisions as I play in Fortnite Zero build. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and if you guys would like to use my code in the shop when getting anything, Evolve Jake, just like my channel name is, and is underneath the webcam at all times. So I'm going to try to go Riptides this game. I didn't really know where would be populated for this bus path. Maybe Classified Canyon would have been, but I feel like that POI could be so hit or miss. With like the amount of people that go there. Like sometimes I go there and it is the most populated thing of all time, and then other times I go there and I'm like the only one. So like I just don't trust that POI for this style of video really. But we have a few people going Riptides. I mean, maybe die to this Miku and spectate them. They're always, you know, interesting players. Do you think they're annoyed with me right now? Like I'm trying to land directly with them and they don't want that? Thank you. Alright. Good word, Chris. He's shooting more people out of the sky. This can be a double-edged sword. So this is something I'm very like guilty of. I love shooting people out of the sky in this game. It feels so good when you just beam somebody. But in early game, if you dedicate a lot of time to shooting people out of the sky like that, that's time where you're not getting loot. And if you're one of the first people to land, you have an advantage as far as timing goes, because you can get access to loot faster than the other people, and hopefully get shield and like better fighting weapons sooner. But going for the kills out of the sky, you kind of negate your timing advantage that you got by landing early, and it can work out really good because if you eliminate them, then they're just not going to be a problem later. They're not going to use shield in the POI, and it's going to make your early game easier. But if you sacrifice that time and don't get the kills, and more people kind of land like really close to you, then the fact that you wasted your timing advantage to shoot people out of the sky can be a very big problem. Especially if it's AI that you're shooting out of the sky, because it's not like those AI would have been a huge threat anyways, you know? And I think he's going to have gotten 3 stakes. Oh my god, that's unfortunate. He's trying to break the bench. I wasn't paying the most attention to his stake collection, but I'm pretty sure he got 3, because you can start at that back pizza place and then just basically walk in a straight line and get 3. And that will allow you to get this weight decently quick. 4 is where it becomes like pretty much instant, but 3 is like fast enough. Did he forget one? Oh, I think he did forget this one. More shocks. That's amazing. Also, it looked like he hip fired that bot that was shooting at him when he was on the weight. He didn't, I don't think, but there's just a bug. Yeah, so he's aiming here. There's a bug when you're spectating people using the red dot AR. That like sometimes it shows that they're not aiming when they are. And just in general, when I make these videos, a lot of times I'll get comments that'll be like someone timestamping something, and they'll be like, it looks like his aim wasn't even on them. How'd they get that kill? It's just a spectator bug. Like spectator mode and replay mode are not like very perfect at showing things like that. When I make these videos, I kind of want to talk about like more big picture things or like decision making things, not much like, oh, his aim was slightly off here. I'm gonna go for double mobility. I'm interested to see if he gets the flex. But speaking of like the aim down sight thing, one time I eliminated a streamer, and they were spectating me afterwards because I beamed them, and from them spectating me, it looked like I was just hip firing people across the map. But I was streaming as well, so I could look at my own perspective and see like I was aiming here. And that's just a very like concrete version of like showing that stuff just spectator mode and replay mode aren't perfect at showing things like that. The Flex SMG is really good. I'm interested to see if he'll go for the mythic one from Bigfoot. He also has double mobility, which is really going to benefit him there. I think there may have been somebody else here, though. And so starting Bigfoot can be a bit of a struggle. I would want to go back into the skate park area to do it. That way they would have to push me, because I thought there was somewhere at this building. Maybe he killed them. I wasn't, like, paying the most attention because of what I was talking about with, like, the not aiming thing. The pistol would be good for fighting Bigfoot, or the SMG, or the TAC AR. Just the fact that those weapons reload instantly, I feel like make it better than the Deadeye for that. He's going to go for the gray Deadeye over the Mythic Flex. I think that's a choice that a lot of people would make. I think the Hollow Rush SMG and the Flex SMG are very good. And the ceiling on them is very high. But the floor can also be kind of low if you're not very good at playing aggressive. Like if you want to play at a, you know, slower or more like a medium pace, then the Deadeye is probably going to be much better. Yeah, but we will see. This setup is kind of going to be a struggle for him up close because he only has a green pump and a gray Deadeye. So if he fights somebody decent up close, seems very good though with the air. But if it's going to be hard for him to like fight the duels up close, I feel like. Like it always is. But if that's going to be the case, you would want like higher rarity stuff. And that's one of the things that the SMGs can really help with. There was somebody else like down and to his left, I thought, that was like also following the person that was flying there. Doesn't have very much ammo. 6 with the Deadeye. Another gray Deadeye. See how many this player can collect. You can break these barrels to get basically full health. There's a car up here as well, which I think you should definitely want to take for progressing through this area. Oh, there's people fighting at the bottom of the hill. He's going to shockwave onto it to get better timing. Unfortunately, it's a fight that's going nowhere, though. There's 2 cars chasing each other. So he kind of wastes some mobility there. I think he should probably just get in that SUV behind him and leave. This is a fight that's going nowhere, kind of. It's like a very stalemate-y fight. And so, oh, one of the cars is coming back. Okay. I was gonna say it's a very stalemate fight, so I don't think like it's very important for him to third party it. This is very bad for him. So what I said that he has like not the greatest close range setup. He really does not want a fight happening on neutral terms. And unfortunately for him, he's playing into the lock on AR, which also really sucks. He's gonna try to get to that slurp truck and then get health that way. But yeah, just sticking around on the edge of that hill kind of cost him. And you see this player had the blue duels, and so the person we were previously spectating was gonna have to play like basically perfect in that fight that started on just like very neutral terms. If you're using like pump AR in the current season, you really do not want a fight starting on neutral terms. Like it's something that you always want to avoid, but like certain weapons just fare better with it. The duels are obviously going to be better, but the fact that the duels are so prevalent is what makes the pump AR like so bad in those situations, especially at like very, very low rarities. Because you kind of need to hit like a bailout pump. And you can hit really hard with the green pump, but it's just like you got to be perfect. Whereas the dual user doesn't really got to be perfect. And as you saw, this person using dual lock on AR. And so they can be very less than perfect and still get very good damage with the lock on AR. I feel like the Miku didn't use their shockwaves the greatest after like the initial trying to shockwave away. Like after they got hit by the car, if they just full left down that hill to the gas station, that probably would have been better for them. Maybe this guy chases, and then the Miku could look back and kind of beam them with AR as they're pushing. And then the fight is winnable. This Aphrodite? You have her like getting on you when they're not full health. He has the Flowberry mist as well, so he can do the low gravity lock on AR and just spray people while floating around in the sky. And for people that aren't very aware of what's going on, it's gonna be such a hard fight to deal with. Like if you catch somebody off guard that way and you're just pelting them with the lock on AR while flying around like above them, it can be such a difficult playstyle to counter. Like very timing based though. The bush sound is like low-key irritating me. I was gonna say, I'm gonna be surprised if he takes that infantry. Infantry is okay, but the Enforcer AR is just better, in my opinion. They're very similar, but the Enforcer AR has a higher fire rate, less recoil, and a larger mag size. And you're just trading like a little bit of damage for that. Good shot in the back here. He's gonna bunker, and he needs a mist too. So he can mist here and then look back and shoot this player. Oh, okay. They pushed him, so he's gonna mist and then just shock up with the mist after lock on air. They're in this building somewhere. They shockwave away. Unfortunately, he broke the floor, I think, when he... Oh, no. He thought he had shockwaves there, I think. I think he broke the floor when he initially shockwaved away. And then that allowed that person to drop into this building here and not really get melted by the lock on air as much. And then he gets beamed by a minigun. And this is where things are very bad. So he has no mobility here, no heals. And that's the end of his game, unfortunately. And I'm sure a lot of people in the comments are cheering for the demise of the lock-on player. But I think they actually just got very lucky there. Or sorry, very unlucky. They got beamed in the back. which, you know, it's unfortunate, but it'll happen. And then they kind of had to try to reset because the person that beamed them was shockwaving on them. So, like, going up and then trying with the lock-on AR is a way the fight is winnable. But the fact that the person that beamed them could just drop into the building because the floor was broken, like, protected them a lot from the lock-on. And that's kind of... I don't even know if that person did that intentionally, but that's kind of like what I was saying earlier when I was saying, like, if you catch somebody off guard with it, it's really a problem. If the guy was just sitting on that roof really lost as to where the person he was pushing went, the lock on iron play beats him. So this minigun just tried his cards, by the way. 75 damage. I'm just going to keep beaming them. There is a player to his right. I don't know why he's been so fixated on this still. I think the player on his right might have been an AI and he realized that or something. They're trying to use the patch up. One of the best things, like most important things when it comes to chasing people, is just predicting what they're going to do. So he blew the car up on that wingsuiting player and then also got more damage on them because the wingsuit is not a good like reactionary mobility item. And so most players are probably just going to go to the vending machine and try to like spam patch up and maybe buy heals there. So like immediately just going to the vending and cutting them off. You get to free them. This setup is very, very close range oriented though. If this player gets caught in a bad situation, it's going to be hard for him to play against like the dead IR. He does have bunkers though, and so that can like buy him time and allow him to kind of like stall out and not just like full lose because of bad timing. But it's still, depending on the way the end game plays, we could see the minigun cost this player. I was very pleasantly surprised about the minigun when I made a video about the OG weapons. I was not expecting to like the minigun in this season, but it melts. Like you saw how fast that car went down. Imagine that to a player. And that's from somebody who like I have pretty much always hated the minigun. I feel like I've always had a much oh, that's unfortunate. It's not the greatest for like shockwaving up like that. I feel like he just goes for it because of the weird timing. Like he might as well shoot his gun. But when the bloom when you shockwave up, I feel like it's kind of a struggle compared to like the flex or something. Also not the biggest fan of minis, I just realized that. I feel like minis as heals are pretty outdated, but it's not like so bad that you can't win the game because you have minis. I just think the other heals are better. What made minis like ideal in the past was like how fast they healed. Because it needed used to need to do like 5 full seconds on a big pot to get any health. But in chapter 5 when they reworked heals and made it to where you kind of get it over time, like minis kind of meh. And you can only get to 150. If I was in charge, I would like to see how minis would play if you could get to 100 off minis. Like if it was just 25 per and there wasn't a cap, I feel like it would be a lot more of like a viable item. I don't know if I would even take them over big still, but like having it limited at this point when it no longer really has a timing advantage is bizarre to me. Zone pulled far. Oh no, he's getting hopped on by duels. This is really bad too because there's so many people in this area. And so this is a fight that's like guaranteed third partied. What you want to do in situations like that, I think, is just get out of there. So it was very clear this player was hopping on them. And just a 50-50 RNG fight versus duels is not a fight you want to be taking. It's something that'll happen sometimes, and you can win it for sure. But with this zone, I feel like it's something that you just don't want to be taking at all. So just shockwaving away there, I think would have been a much better play, especially when zone pulled far. Like I was about to say I kind of just want him to get out of here because this area seems really congested and zone pulled far. And going later would have been bad for him, I think, because he didn't have very many shockwaves. And as we talked about, his like loadout is very close range oriented. I feel like also just using the minigun versus the duels there is not the greatest. But a lot of times when you're in a congested area like that, just recognizing that somebody's about to just try to grief both of you and getting out of there prematurely is the best you can do. Especially with duels in the game, like people love using it. And just popping on you, and it can work. Especially this player, like they have the mythic ones, so they feel like they can win that like 50-50 every time. Getting harassed by the lock on air though. I would want this fight to happen right now. So he pulled this player away from the congested area. This is good. If he fought them in that very congested area on the edge of zone, they guaranteed get third partied. They are getting wingsuited on by another person, I think, which is not ideal. But pulling this person to a more isolated area and then fighting them over here would be best, I think. But seems like the lock on our player doesn't want to fight anymore. But if I was him, I would be hoping they push into me. He can get on the, he can third party this. Shockwave on this, get in that bubble and kill them both, I think. Or, okay, I still think you shockwave on that. It's like kind of a weird spot because he's standing too far forward. And now the lock on player is killing him. That sucks, man. Okay, he gets the kill, but the lock on IR player is probably going to third party. He has no heals. This guy has a fizz. That's perfect. He was standing too far forward when he tried to shockwave, and then it made him go like too far to the side. If he was standing a little far... Oh, the guy's above him. You need to just chow this with your low gravity. And GG's. That person wins the fight. Best case... So this player jumped over his head and kind of broke his camera. Best case scenario for the player we were spectating would have been to try to low gravity jump and break this guy's camera instead. Like if he low gravity jumped up and behind him, then that's probably the only way he can overcome the HP disadvantage. But yeah, the way he shockwaved, I feel like really trolled him because it made him go more to the right, and then the lock on AR player was able to like beam him. Whereas if he just went straight, I think he could have like had that tree as cover the entire time and had a better chance of cleaning that up. But that was just like an absolute, like very much chaotic situation at the end there. And those are the situations where the lock on AR really, really thrives. And I think when I made a video about countering the lock on AR, I said like you kind of want to like target those people and get them out of the game. Letting this person live earlier and not like kind of closing that kill. I know it was a chaotic situation and then like he didn't chase them the way you would have wanted. But it still just came back to bite that player. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.